So many think they're safe and routine, that the subway is just a way home, a steel artery beneath the city, pulsing with electricity and tired sighs. But there are nights, rare, whispered about nights, when the tracks forget where they lead, and the passengers aren't quite what they seem. One such night began like any other. Samuel was just another face in the crowd, just another soul looking for a way home. But the train had other plans. The doors hissed shut behind him, sealing with a metallic finality that made his stomach lurch. The station was empty, eerily empty, yet the car he stepped into was full. Every seat taken, every aisle lined with passengers. At first, he felt relief. The rumors about the subway after 2 a.m. had always sounded like urban legend, whispered warnings from drunks and insomniacs. But at least he wasn't alone. Then he noticed. None of them had eyes. Sockets where eyes should be glistened wetly in the dim light. Heads turned toward him in unison, but without pupils to anchor their gaze. He stumbled backward, but the doors were already locked. A voice crackled overhead, distorted, ancient. This train does not stop. The car shuddered forward, faster and faster, the tunnels outside a blur of black. His phone had no signal. The emergency intercom spat static, and every hollow face kept staring. He should have listened. He should never have taken the subway after 2 a.m., and now there was no way off. Welcome, traveler of the dark. You've wandered into a place where shadows linger longer than light, and every story is a door you may regret opening. Here in these tunnels of fear and memory, the familiar twists into the grotesque, and the ordinary begins to rot. Sit still, listen closely, because once we begin, there is no leaving the ride. Ready? Let's begin. The train rattled deeper into the tunnels, though no stations seemed to pass. Samuel gripped the cold metal pole, knuckles white, trying not to collapse as the fluorescent lights above flickered. He counted 1, 2, 3, and then each bulb dimmed to a sickly yellow before buzzing back to life. He had written these lines 100 times before, back from late shifts, back from bars when cabs were too expensive. He thought he knew the city's veins. But this was different. He glanced again at the passengers. Their skin looked drained, almost gray, but not lifeless, like wax figures caught between melting and reforming. Their mouths hung slack, breaths shallow and wet. No one moved, no one spoke. "Hey?" he croaked, his voice cracking. The silence was oppressive, swallowing his words before they could echo down the car. He took a hesitant step forward, trying to meet the gaze of a man in a torn business suit. The man tilted his head, empty sockets glistening, and Samuel nearly retched. The train jolted violently. He fell into an empty seat, the vinyl sticking to his palms. The windows showed nothing but smeared shadows. No tunnels, no advertisements, no flickering lights outside, just a rushing void. He fumbled for his phone again. Still no service, no Wi-Fi, just a black screen with the time, 2:11 a.m., mocking him. When the intercom screeched again, his teeth rattled from the sound. "Next stop, not for you." The voice was wrong. Not recorded, not human. It was layered like hundreds of throats speaking in imperfect unison. He squeezed his eyes shut, fighting dizziness. When he opened them, the passengers had moved. They were closer, not drastically, just subtle enough that it seemed impossible. The woman across from him was now directly in front of him. The man in the torn business seat stood by the pole he had been gripping. He tried to convince himself he had imagined it, but then he noticed their lips, moving, whispering, too faint to understand, yet synchronized like a chant. His breathing quickened. He had to get off. He had to get out. He lunged for the emergency release near the doors, yanking hard. Nothing. He kicked it, punched it, screamed at it, but the steel frame didn't budge. The whispers grew louder. His name was in the now. Samuel, Samuel, Samuel. He staggered back, slamming into the far wall of the car. His chest ached with each breath. The train was accelerating, vibrating so violently that his teeth hurt. And then he saw it. Beyond the glass, something moved alongside the train. Something enormous, keeping pace in the darkness. For an instant, he caught the curve of a mouth stretched impossibly wide, filled with teeth like rusted blades. It grinned at him through the black. Samuel screamed, and the passengers screamed back, not with their mouths, but with their eyeless sockets, expelling shrieks that scraped the walls and the skull. He collapsed into the aisle, hands over his ears, but it didn't help. The sound came from inside him, not around him. He forced himself up, clutching the pole, and stumbled towards the door that led to the next car. The handle resisted at first, like it hadn't been touched in years, but finally gave way with a rusty groan. He shoved himself through. The next car was identical. Same layout, same cracked vinyl seats, same flickering lights, and same passengers. No, worse. They weren't strangers anymore. The nearest passenger was his old high school friend Anthony, who he hadn't seen in over a decade. The eyeless sockets, the slack mouth, the gray skin. It was all the same, but the shape of the jaw, the line of the nose, it was unmistakable. Across the aisle, his grandmother. She had died when he was 10, yet here she was, her body slouched but recognizably hers, the knit scarf she always wore still around her neck. Samuel stumbled backward. No, this isn't real. Their lips moved in unison, whispering his name again. Samuel, Samuel. He bolted through the car, shoving past them, though their bodies felt too cold, too rubbery, like mannequins left in a freezer. He slammed open the next door and the next, desperate to find any sign of escape. Car after car, passenger after passenger, faces from his past, his present, even people he saw only in passing, his barista, the landlord's hid, a coworker he barely knew. Every one of them eyeless, whispering. By the sixth car, he was sobbing. The graffiti on the walls caught his eye. At first, he thought it was the usual scrawls of delinquents, but the words shifted when he looked too long. Turn back. It knows your name. Fair is blood. The intercom screeched again. Approaching destination. The lights flickered more violently now, plunging him into darkness for seconds at a time. Each blackout felt longer, like the bulbs were hesitating to reignite. And in the dark, he swore the passengers moved closer, surrounding him. He ran. He didn't know how many cars he passed. He only knew his lungs burned, his legs trembled, and the chanting never stopped. Finally, one door refused to open. He threw his weight against it until the metal gave way. He stumbled inside and froze. This car was different. It was empty. No seats, no poles, no passengers. Just an endless stretch of rusted floor and walls narrowing into darkness. The air smelled of iron and damp earth. The sound of the train wheels was gone. He turned back. The door had vanished. Samuel's heart hammered as he walked forward. His footsteps echoed strangely, like he was in a cavern, not a subway car. He touched the wall and it pulsed faintly under his palm, like skin. Then he heard it, breathing, deep, cavernous, filling the space around him. He wasn't alone. From the darkness ahead, two lights appeared. Not lights, eyes. Vast, glowing, set wide apart. And the grin that followed stretched wall to wall, teeth glistening wet. The passenger's whispers filled his mind again. It takes us. It keeps us. It eats us. Samuel fell to his knees. No, please. The creature leaned closer, its breath hot and fetid, rattling his bones. And then the intercom crackled one last time. All passengers must disembark. The train never slowed. Samuel's legs trembled as he clung to the last door, wind whipping through a crack that shouldn't have been there. Behind him, the passengers waited, patient, their hollow sockets glowing faintly now, as though lit from within. Ahead, the blackness parted just enough to show the beast in full, its face pressed to the glass of reality, waiting for him to surrender. The intercom spoke once more, soft and final. All passengers must disembark. Samuel closed his eyes. He thought of his mother's laugh, of the first sunrise he ever remembered, of every ordinary morning he had wasted. Then he let go. Whether he fell into the void or into himself, he would never know. The train roared on empty, once again searching for the next soul foolish enough to ride after 2 a.m. And so the train roars on, carrying its chosen deeper into the dark, where the doors never open and the destination is never yours to claim. Perhaps you'll hear it one night too, an intercom whispering your name when no one else is listening. If that happens, don't look out the window. You won't like what's smiling back. You can leave now, but the train never stops. Subscribe to Write Again. Like if you survive the journey, and comment before your name fades from the list of passengers.